Hello, everyone. I'm so glad to see you all. I'm Karen. I'm in Children's Services, and there are some other Children's Services people here today, too. So you might see Bree, I see her, and Heather was here, but I don't see her face anymore. So anyway, welcome, welcome, welcome. We're doing our best to plan good things for you. There's Heather. And you see us a lot on social media and through the email blasts. And I've got exciting news to tell you. We just got board approval to send a free book to everybody. So look for information about that. We're very excited about that. You'll go to Amazon, pick out the book you want, and let us know, and we'll send it to you. So this is our very first virtual reality online program, and we'll just see how it goes. ScienceTellers kind enough to volunteer to be our guinea pig. And here is Stephanie. She's from the Boston area, and it's gloomy and doomy there now, but it's sunny here. So, all right. Thanks, Stephanie.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yes, today, you guys, we're going to have a blast. We're going to have all sorts of science experiments. We're going to tell a really cool story. So before we start, as I was beautifully introduced, my name is Stephanie, and I am a science teller. And that means I am a mix between scientist and storyteller. You smush them together and you get a science teller. And we use all sorts of cool experiments that we will get to in a little bit. Also, I want to let everyone know that at the very end of our show, I have two really cool things. One is I'm going to show you an experiment you can do at your very own homes. Probably have all of the things you need hiding right in your kitchen. And two, there will be a time for questions and answers at the very end. So if you guys think of anything, definitely hold on to those questions. I want to make sure that I get any of those answered for you guys. Also, throughout this story, I'm going to throw up some things that we're going to call polls. They're going to be questions that you guys can help. That's going to help tell our story a little bit more. But enough talking. That's not what you came to hear. You came to hear about aliens and science. So let's get started. Oh! Caesar jumped out of bed, turned off his alarm clock. It was almost midnight. He was late. Peeking his head out of his door, he looked left. He looked right. The coast was clear. Careful not to wake his parents, he quietly tiptoed down the stairs. But he didn't realize someone was standing in the dark, waiting for him. Hurry up, or we're gonna miss it. It was his sister. Her name was Haley, and she was not happy. Haley grabbed Caesar's hand, pulled him outside, and together they ran along the old dirt path to the edge of the forest. Can everybody run down the dirt path with me? Run, run, run! Run as fast as you can! Awesome! When they reached the forest, they closed their eyes and counted out loud. 1, 2, 3. Slowly, they opened their eyes and looked up and couldn't believe what they saw. Hundreds of shooting stars. But suddenly, they heard a weird noise. That didn't look like a shooting star. That looked like a spaceship. Now everybody, I want you to think, would you run for help or would you try to find the spaceship? Let's see what everybody would do. Very interested. Let's see. Oh, interesting. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right. It's neck and neck. We've got some running for help. We've got some finding the spaceship. Some, I don't know. Looking, we're going to give it 5, 4, 3, 2, one. Let's see what you guys want to do. You guys would go and find the spaceship. Well, Haley and Caesar held each other's hands, and together they stepped into the forest to try and find the spaceship. Meanwhile, far away, deep down in a secret underground laboratory, somebody was watching. It was Dr. Cosmo, the crazy space scientist, peering through his telescope. Dr. Cosmo saw two kids sneaking into the forest. Well, they must be looking for the spaceship. He had to act fast, so he ran out of his lab, jumped into his truck, and raced off into the woods. Shining his headlights through the forest, suddenly, he saw two kids. It was Haley and Caesar. Well, Dr. Cosmo revved his engine. He chased after them, driving faster and faster until the next thing he knew, they disappeared from sight. Well, they must have gone the other way. And with that, Dr. Cosmo turned and drove off. Now, after a while, Haley and Caesar, they peeked out from behind the tree where they had been hiding. And that's when they saw it glowing on the ground. Oh, they walked closer. They reached down to touch it. Oh, it was cold and wet and slimy. Oh, they never felt anything like this squish between their fingers. They couldn't believe what they were feeling. After feeling the cold, wet, slimy goo, they looked and they saw a trail of goo leading into the forest. Now, what would you guys do? Would you leave the forest or follow the goo? Let's see what you guys would do. Interesting. Oh my gosh. All right. Awesome answers. Whoa. All right. Looks like you guys would all follow the goo. Well, guess what? So did Haley and Caesar. They followed the goo deep into the forest until suddenly they looked up and saw a giant spaceship. Whew! They couldn't believe their eyes. Slowly, they walked up to the spaceship. Whew. They climbed the stairs with all their might. They pulled open. Can you guys help me? Help me open the door. Grab onto it and pull with all your might. Awesome. Thank you. They pulled open the door and climbed in, but no one was there. So they walked in to get a closer look, but they didn't realize something was sneaking up behind them, and I have it right here in this box. Haley froze, her eyes wide with fear. She looked at Caesar. He felt something moving behind him. It tapped him on the shoulder. He turned and saw aliens. It was a giant green alien hand attached to a giant green alien. They couldn't believe their eyes. Slowly, the alien walked closer. It reached toward them. Now, what would you do? Would you fight the alien or be friends with it? Let's see, we're gonna put up our options right here. I want to see what you guys would do. Are we gonna fight the alien or would you be friends? Awesome. Let's see. Oh my, awesome. Looking good. Very nice. You guys would be friends. I love it. Well, let's find out what happens. Caesar stood still, but Haley walked closer and reached toward the alien. It grabbed her hand and shook it up and down. Well, he was friendly. Suddenly, bang, whoop, they turned. There was Dr. Cosmo, the crazy space scientist. Hand over that alien. Well, Haley and Caesar refused, but there was nowhere for them to go. With a sneer, Dr. Cosmo walked up. He grabbed them by their shirt collars and lifted them into the air. But at that moment, the alien turned and blasted Dr. Cosmo with slimy green goo. Oh, it covered his eyes. He couldn't see. He was so surprised that he dropped Haley and Caesar. This was their chance. Now, what would you guys do? Would you leave the spaceship or would you help the alien? What would you do? What would you do? Oh no! Oh my goodness! Let's see what happens. Awesome. You guys would help the alien. Awesome, fantastic. Let's find out what they do. Well, they grabbed the alien's hand and were ready to make their getaway. But just as they did, a huge thunderstorm started to blow. Oh, 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 oh. With all the wind and the rain, Haley and Caesar couldn't see or hear a thing. At last, the storm quieted down, and when they opened their eyes, the alien was gone. You'll never catch me! It was Dr. Cosmo, the crazy space scientist! He was stealing the alien. He drove off, disappearing into the woods. Let's face it, they're gone. But that's when they noticed tire tracks from Dr. Cosmo's truck. Well, they followed the tracks through the forest, winding through the trees, till they came to the entrance of the secret underground laboratory. With whatever courage they had, they stepped into the laboratory and found a door. Slowly, they pushed it open and couldn't believe their eyes. There, staring back at them, was the alien! Quick, this way to the exit! But the alien stopped and pointed in the opposite direction. Now, what would you do? Would you leave the lab or would you follow the alien? Very interesting. Oh, what would you guys do? Oh my goodness. Let's see what you guys did. You would follow the alien. We have some very, very brave kiddos. Well, Haley and Caesar followed the alien deeper through the laboratory to another door. Quickly, they pushed the door open and couldn't believe their eyes. There, staring back at them, was a room filled with aliens. Quick as they could, they untied the aliens and led them toward the exit. But as they rounded the corner, there was Dr. Cosmo, the crazy space scientist. He chased them all to the laboratory until suddenly all of the aliens turned and blasted the floor with slimy green goo. Well, Dr. Cosmo slipped in the goo He tried to run, but it was way too slippery. He was trapped. This was their chance. So Haley and Caesar led the aliens all the way through the forest, all the way back to their spaceship. The alien spaceship door closed as they waved goodbye, and they blasted off to safety. Well, Haley and Caesar were very happy until they remembered their parents. We have to get home before Mom and Dad wake up. Quick as they could, they ran home, reaching the door just as the sun began to rise. They changed out of their clothes and into their pajamas. But they had a problem. Their clothes were covered in dirt and sweat and slimy green goo. So they had to fix this. They took their clothes, threw them in the washing machine. But they didn't know how to do laundry. So they didn't know how much soap they needed. Now, how much would you guys use? Would you use 1 scoop, 2 scoops, or the entire box? What would you guys use? Looks like we have some people who know to do laundry very well. Awesome. 1 scoop, and see people holding up 1. Oh my goodness. Let's take a look and see. Oh, you guys know how to do laundry. Very nice. Much better than Haley and Caesar. So, like I said, you guys know how to do it, but they didn't. And they were dirtier than ever. So they dumped in the entire box and they went upstairs to go to bed. But after a while, they heard a loud noise. Oh no, it's Dr. Cosmo, the crazy space scientist. They heard it again. Oh, they jumped out of bed, ran downstairs. But as they rounded the corner, they realized it wasn't Dr. Cosmo. It was much worse. Everybody help me with their loud bangs. Clap 3 times. Bang, bang, bang. Oh, they ran in and they saw the washing machine. It was rumbling and it was shaking. They pushed on the lid as hard as they could, but it was no use. Woo. Soap and bubbles exploded everywhere. Whew. And Haley and Caesar, they were grounded for an entire week because of that unforgivable mess. But they never told their parents or anyone else what happened. Now, anytime they went out and saw a shooting star, they remembered when they helped aliens escape from Earth. Wasn't that an awesome story? Thank you guys for your help with it. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, like I said, we learned all about the cool story. Now we're gonna learn all about some cool science experiments. So let me grab some of our awesome materials. I will be right back. I'm gonna grab everything I need for my kitchen counter. Nice thing from working from home. It's right over there. So, like in our story, Haley and Caesar, they saw something fly through the air, and it turned out to be an alien spaceship. So now we are going to make something fly through the air just like the spaceship in our story. So for this, we need a couple things. First, we need a tube. What? Just a big plastic tube or a straw. We also need a plunger, and then we need my favorite vegetable, the potato. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the potato into our tube. Now, so you guys can see this. Let's see here. Here we go. Get this, our official science cam started so we can see every bit right there. Get you up and close. There we go. So now we have our plunger, our tube, and our potato. So what we're gonna do is take our tube, put it right here, and on the count of 3, I'm gonna push down. 1, 2, 3, push. Awesome. Now we have 1 piece of potato in our tube. I'm gonna use our plunger to push it up a little further, right where we want it, just like so. Now we have to put our second piece in. I'm gonna do it in 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Now we have 2 pieces of potato in our tube. Now, if we push these pieces closer together, does that space between them get bigger or smaller? That's right, it's gonna get smaller. And when the space gets smaller, the air pressure in there is going to get bigger. It's going to get so big, it's going to push the potato out of the tube, flying through the air. Now, I want you guys to think, what is your scientific guess, also known as our hypothesis? I want to know how far you think this is going to go. Do we think the potato is going to fly 1 foot, 3 feet, or do we think it's going to fly all the way across the room and hit my llama? Let's see. I'm going to launch. If you think it's going to hit the wall, go 1 foot or 3 feet. I want to see what your hypotheses are. Awesome. Awesome. I love it. We've got all different kinds of hypotheses. It's fantastic. Very nice. Alrighty, guys, let's take a look and see what you guys think. All right, we got a few think it's going to go 1 foot. Some think it's going to go 3. We're tied for 3 feet and hitting the wall. So let's take a look and see what happens. Here we go, guys. I'm going to get you a little bit better shot. Let's see if we can get the wall. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Woo! Do you see that? It hit way up there in the corner. That was crazy. So great job. Whoever thought it was going to hit the wall, we got it right up there. That was so cool. Who thought you could make a potato fly that far? Now, that was pretty cool, but I have another very cool experiment just waiting for us. Need to grab a few of our handy dandy helpful tools. Now, in our story, speaking of helpful tools, whenever we do science experiments, we want to make sure that we are safe and protecting ourselves. So if you guys do experiments at home, please make sure that you have your parents or your guardians there so they know what you're doing and ask for their help. And since I am my own guardian, I'm also going to use some safety glasses to keep my eyes protected for these, anything that's flying through the air. So now that we are all safe and ready to go, in our story, Haley and Caesar, they saw something glowing on the ground, and it turned out to be slimy green goo. So I'm going to show how we made our goo. So we're going to switch over to Science Cam so we can see all of the awesome stuff. Right here, I have a bowl that is filled with a liquid. Now this liquid is called calcium chloride, also known as rock salt. Now we're going to add something to this. We are actually going to add another liquid. Whoop. There we go. We're actually going to add another liquid called sodium alginate. Now, when I add the sodium alginate to the rock salt, it is going to change. It is going to change. It's going to cause a chemical change. It's going to become something new. Now, I want you guys to think. Do we think it is going to change to a gas? Do we think it's going to change to a liquid? Or do we think it's going to change to a solid? Let's see what you guys think. Awesome. Very interesting, very cool. I love seeing these different hypotheses. Very nice. Awesome. Let's take a look and see what you guys think. I love it. So we have some people who think it's going to turn into a gas. Some people think it's going to stay a liquid. Some think it's going to change into a solid. So let's check it out and let's see what happens. So we have our calcium chloride. Let's see if we can switch. Here we go. So there we go. Awesome. Oh, there we go. Little technical difficulties. We're all on that learning curve together. So we have our sodium alginate into our calcium chloride, and let's see what happens. So we're gonna give it a good squirt, just like that. Now this is gonna take a little bit of time. So we're gonna all count. We're gonna count backwards from 10. And then when we reach 1, we'll see what happens. So everybody get your counting fingers ready. Give me 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What? Oh, check it out. That's awesome. It changed into a solid. But you guys, I want to show you something really, really cool, because just that outside part came in contact with the calcium chloride, and that's what causes the chemical reaction and the change into the solid. Some of the sodium alginate is still liquid inside. So I'm going to give it a good squirt and see if I can get you guys a good shot of this. Let's see. So I'm going to squeeze our solid. We're going to get some of that liquid that's still trapped in. It's going to ooze and goo. Oh, awesome. Check it out. We're getting all sorts of goo. See all that liquid? It's still trapped in there. But if we put it into the calcium chloride, give it a couple seconds, it is going to change into a solid, just like the rest of the noodle did. That was awesome. That was so cool. Nice hypotheses, you guys. So we saw, so far we have made a potato fly. We have turned all liquid into a solid. Let's see what else we have coming up. So in our story, Haley and Caesar climbed on board that spaceship, and something snuck up behind them, and it turned out to be a slimy green alien hand. Yeah, so I'm going to show you how we made our hand. So for this, we do need a few very helpful tools that I'm going to get all set up. First, we need a glove, because we want our alien hand to have the size and the shape of our alien hand to have the size and the shape of a hand. Next, we need some liquids, and we're going to simply call them liquid A and liquid B. There we go, liquid B right there. So we're going to add those to our alien hand. So the first thing I'm going to do is take our little measuring cup, just like so. Oh, speaking of technical difficulties, there we go. We're going to take a little bit of our liquid A, open it up, pour it right into its measuring cup, just like that. Now it's kind of ooey and gooey, kind of a dark brown. It almost makes me think of like Coca-Cola syrup. So I'm going to pour this right in here, just like so. Ew. All the ooey, gooey wonderfulness that it is. Awesome. So we have our liquid A. Now we need to add liquid B. You got it. So we're going to take liquid B, just like we did with liquid A. I'm going to pour it into its own little measuring cup right here. Now it looks totally different. Woo! And it is stinky. Can everybody give me your best stinky face? Ugh. Yeah, you can't see it, or you can see it, but you can't smell it. You are lucky. It does not smell good at all. So we're going to add it in just like so. It may not smell good, but it is going to do something pretty cool. Now, we see that these colors are kind of brown, but our alien hand, it was green, right? So to make it green, we're simply going to add, boom, food coloring. Same stuff we have hiding in our kitchens. So I'm going to add a few drops of this, just like so. Now we're going to start to mix. And to do that, I'm going to help us out here, give us a little bit better shot, just like so. Awesome. So we're going to start mixing. I'm going to make sure we get it in all 5 fingers, just like that. Now I'm going to start mixing. Now, I want you guys to think it's going to do some cool things. It's going to start getting green. which we can already see it's starting to turn green, it is also going to start to get bigger. It's going to expand. It is going to expand 30 times its original size. So I want you guys to think, use that hypothesis. Do you think it's going to fill halfway, entire glove, or do you guys think it's going to overflow and make a huge mess? What do you guys think? I want to see what you think. I'm going to keep mixing. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about our awesome alien hands. Let's see. Very cool. I love it. All right. We've got, oh, neck and neck here. Some think it's going to go halfway. Some think it's going to fill the entire glove. Some think it's going to overflow and make a mess. Messy science is always the most fun science. That was always a rule. When I was growing up, I had to do it outside if it made a big mess, which this would definitely be an outside experiment. So I'm going to end our polling. I'm going to share what you guys think. Awesome. We got a tie. So we're going to see what happens. Now, while you guys were voting, I was mixing, and it's already getting nice and green. Like I said, it is going to start to expand. Now, you might be thinking, what are you mixing? It is actually something that we have in our homes, in our lives. It's called polyurethane foam. It is spray insulation. We use it in our homes, in our basements, in our attics, and schools, and all over. It helps keep those cold breezes from coming in our homes. So it is getting bigger. Check it out. It is also starting to get warm. It's causing an exothermic reaction. That means it is giving off heat. So it's getting bigger. Oh no. Oh no. Oh! Oh! Oh, nice! It's expanding and it's filling this entire glove and overflowing. Oh, yes, that was awesome. Let's see when we get another one. Oh no! Yes! My favorite part is when it starts filling up the glove and spilling everywhere. Let's see, maybe one more. Oh, awesome. Now you guys notice it is starting to slow down because it is starting to cool down. It was causing that exothermic reaction, which means it was really, really warm. Well, now it's starting to cool down as it comes in contact with the air. So as it cools down, it's going to harden. It's going to solidify. And it's going to become a solid piece of foam, just like our hand from the story. So that's a solid piece of foam. This is how it started. That is a cool alien hand, you guys. That is one of my favorite experiments. Wonderfully messy, wonderfully awesome, wonderfully stinky. So we're going to get this all cleaned up. Now our next experiment is a little less stinky, but not any less awesome. And actually, our next experiments, you may even be able to do at home. Some of the tools that I'm going to be using are very common and easy to find. Now, in our story, Haley and Caesar were going to escape and save the alien, but they got trapped in a huge windstorm. Now, wind is crazy. Wind is just air. It is really fast moving air, and air is really cool. It's all around us, but we can't see it. So how do we know it's there? Well, there's a couple ways. We can feel it. Can everybody fan yourself? You can feel that fast moving air. Ah, very nice. Very nice. Oh, feels awesome. Now we can feel that air, but we can also see its effects on things when it moves really, really fast, like in our storm. And you know what can move air really, really fast? A hairdryer. What? So our hairdryer is going to blow not just hair, but is going to hold up this ping pong ball. Now I want you guys to think, when I put this over the hairdryer, do we think it's going to just go plop and fall to the ground? Do we think it's going to fly up and hit the ceiling? Or do you think it's going to hover? Can you guys point up, point down, or do hover? Show me what you think it's going to do. What's your hypothesis? Awesome. I see a little bit of each. I love it. So let's try it out, you guys. So we're going to turn on our hairdryer. Here's our ping pong ball. Let's see what happens. In 3, 2, 1. Check it out, guys. That air is moving fast enough that it's supporting that ping pong ball. Now, that's the low setting. Let's see what happens if we turn it up high. If it's gonna go woo, if it flies up like it just did. Let's see if we can make it go up a little bit higher. Here we go. That's awesome. Check it out, as we turn higher and lower, moving faster and faster, it makes it go higher because that air is holding it up and it has a little bit more, so it's holding it up even a little bit more. But the air that's moving on the side, because it's a round ball, is what's keeping it there. You can't see it, but there is a column of air that's forming. It has a lot of strength because it's moving fast. It's got all that energy and it's holding that ball up. That was awesome. This is something you guys can even probably do in your homes. You could try if you have a hairdryer, awesome. You can try it with any sort of light object. I suggest maybe like a ball. You can use a ping pong ball. You could try like a ball of paper. You could try any little ball. But remember, we want to make sure, talk to our parents first, make sure that it's okay. But go ahead and experiment. This one's an awesome one to do at home. Now, we made some stuff fly through the air using fast moving air. Now I want to see if we can make something fly through the air using something a little different. Now, if you remember in our story, Haley and Caesar, they helped those aliens escape and they blasted off in their spaceship. In this next experiment, we're going to show how we make something blast off in our own little at-home spaceship. So I'm going to switch over because I want you to see everything for this one. There we go. Now for this experiment, we need a few things. We need a pan, a container with a lid, and then we need some chemicals. Now these chemicals are probably hiding in your homes. Vinegar and baking soda. Yeah, now everybody take one hand and do what I do. Awesome, do it one more time. Nice. Now, when we breathe out a gas called carbon dioxide. And guess what? When we mix together vinegar and baking soda, we make carbon dioxide. So what's gonna happen? We're gonna mix them together inside this little container. And when we do, that carbon dioxide is gonna build up pressure. It's gonna want to escape. And when it does, it's gonna make the container fly into the air. This is awesome. So we are going to get it all set up here. This is one of my favorite experiments. There we go. So first thing I'm gonna do is take a little bit of our vinegar. Give me a good squirt right in there, just like so. Then I'm going to use our lid and scoop our baking soda. Here we go. Scoop it in, wiping it off. Now, while I'm getting this all set up, I want you guys to think, what is your hypothesis? Do you think it is going to take 10 seconds to explode, 30 seconds, or like a minute or 2 minutes? What do you guys think? I'm gonna keep getting this all set and ready for us. We're gonna take a look and see what you guys came up with in your hypothesis. I'm gonna pop the lid on. All right, guys. Awesome. We have all sorts of guesses. I love it. All right. Looks like most of us think it's going to take less than 10 seconds. Well, let's try it out, shall we? So here we go. Everybody help me with your countdown fingers. Take it from 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, no! You guys, check it out. What is happening? It didn't explode. But I want to show you something even cooler. It didn't explode because you know how we talked about the carbon dioxide has to build up pressure? We see those big bubbles? That means that it didn't build up pressure. It escaped because there's a little leak somewhere in this container. And all that means is one of our variables didn't work the way we expected. In all science experiments, there are variables, and that is all the different parts. So in this experiment, we have a lot of variables. We have our little container, we have our vinegar, and we have our baking soda. And sometimes if there's a little leak, that just means that one of the variables didn't behave the way we thought. So our hypothesis didn't come out as we first thought it was going to. But that just means it gives us a perfect opportunity to try it one more time. So here we go. We have our baking soda, we have our vinegar, we have our container. Let's try it one more time, guys. Let's count really hard. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Oh no, that's crazy. There was a little leak, but that is awesome. But I want to show you guys what is happening inside. Since the explosion is not cooperating, I'm going to show you when we make all that carbon dioxide. So I'm going to make a little volcano here. So we're still going to add our vinegar just like so. Then I'm going to scoop our baking soda in, and we're going to see that carbon dioxide get formed. So check it out, guys. I'm going to take a little scoop of our baking soda in 3, 2, 1. Whoa! That's so cool. Look at all those bubbles. That's all that carbon dioxide happening right there. It got all released. Now, you guys, this is actually another one that you can probably do at your very own homes. All you need is a little cup, some vinegar, and baking soda. You can make your very own little mini volcano. Now, that was a miniature explosion. We want to make a big bubble explosion, right? So let me grab those very special tools right over here. First, because this one is extra messy, we need our trash bag. Then we need some other very helpful items. Right over here. Now, like I said, this is going to be our last experiment from the story. But I have another do-at-home experiment, and I also want to make sure if anybody has any questions, we're going to have that at the very end. So, for this big bubble explosion, we need our graduated cylinder. Now, we are going to make bubbles. So we need 2 things. We need soap and we need water. So our soap right here is our regular old dish soap. I'm going to take a couple scoops, just like that. And 1. And 2. There we go. So we have our soap. Now, like I said, the next thing we need is water, which is H2O. But today we're going to use something different. We're going to use hydrogen peroxide, which is H2O2. Now the 2 means there's extra oxygen, and that is going to be how we get all those extra bubbles. Because when we release all of that extra oxygen, it's going to make lots and lots of bubbles. Now we're going to pour this in just like so. And you guys notice there's a little bit of bubbles, but not a lot. So because it's starting to release a little of the oxygen, but we want a lot of bubbles, and we want it to happen quickly. And whenever we have that in a science experiment, we use something that is called a catalyst. A catalyst speeds up that chemical reaction. And today, our catalyst is yeast. Same stuff we use for baking bread. I don't know about you guys, but I have definitely been cooking and baking more since I've been home. So if you've been baking bread or you do anything like that in the kitchen, you may have used yeast. It's that same stuff. I'm going to add our yeast to our mixture. It's going to release all that extra oxygen, making lots of cool bubbles. Alrighty, guys, here we go. Take it from 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whoa! Wow! Look at all those bubbles! That's insane! Oh my goodness, I don't know if you can see, there's also steam because it causes an exothermic reaction. It is giving off heat, but mostly it's those awesome bubbles. Oh my goodness gracious. Well, I'm gonna get this cleaned up out of our way, And then I want to make sure we have time to share our at-home experiment. I'm going to get this out of our way. And Karen, while I am getting all cleaned up, I don't know if there's anything you want to share with everybody else. Whoop, make sure you're unmuted. There you go, my dear.
Yes, I'm just so glad that everybody chimed in. And please let us know if we'll probably be doing some other things. We worried about doing any Zoom meetings during the day, worried if people had multiple uses for their devices, like kids doing schoolwork. So you kind of know on Facebook, you can private message us or give us a call. We're answering our phone calls. So this is supper time, I know, so I wondered if that'd be a very good time or not. We are going to start summer reading club early, I think, since the kids aren't going back to school. I know they're still doing schoolwork, but we're working on getting geared up. And we're working on having curbside delivery of books starting May the 4th. So we're anxious to get everything again, but keeping everyone's safety in mind. So please reach out if you have any worries, concerns, problems, or just what you want to share with us. Aw, thank you. I love it. I love seeing everybody's faces and want to get more people involved in all of this too. So we'll just do what we can. Follow us on Facebook if you're not already. We're putting a lot out there. We're sending out email blasts through your emails through so if you don't have your email on file with us, give us a call and we'll get that going for you too. I'm not sure what else I've got to say right now. I think it's nice
No,
weather.
that's awesome. I love it. Yeah, everybody remember, just because you can't go to the libraries right now doesn't mean that the library doesn't have amazing things to offer. Thank you guys so much for having us. Like, it's an absolute pleasure. It's so cool as a science teller living in Massachusetts, getting to see all these beautiful faces in Texas. I'm originally from Kansas City, so I'm like back to the Midwest. So, no, thank you guys, and thank you. I'm so happy you guys all joined us. We're almost done. I don't want you to miss out dinner, but I do want to make sure we see this really cool at-home experiment. So I'm going to switch over to Science Cam. Oh, we're already there. There we go. Awesome. So for this, you just need a few very simple things. Most of these are probably hiding in your homes. What you need: water, a bowl, a plate, some dish soap, some toothpicks, or a knife. A knife works really well too. And some pepper. Now, I know mine's in a grinder. That just means that I have to grind it. But if you have flaky pepper, works just as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my water. I'm going to put it into my bowl, just like that. Then I'm going to put a little bit of soap onto my plate. Just a little dollop will do us. Then the next step, I'm going to take my pepper. I'm going to grind it so it's right on top of the water. We want it to float right on top. So you don't want to mix it in or anything. You just want it to stay right on top of the water. Now, what's really cool is the reason why pepper doesn't dissolve or become a solution with the water like salt or sugar is because it is something called hydrophobic. That means it's not going to mix in. It's just going to float on top. Woo, it is very peppery in here. So it's going to float right on top of there. Now, and the next step is you're going to take your toothpick, dip it into your soap, just like so. This is the really cool part, you guys. So you're going to take your toothpick that has the soap on it, and you're going to touch it into your bowl with your pepper. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. Whoa!
Wow.
That's crazy. I love it. Now, I love it. It's always cool when it ends up being a really cool shape like that, turned into a star for us. Now, what it's doing, the reason why that works is because, like we said, the pepper is hydrophobic, so it's not going to mix in. Now, water, we know that it's a liquid, but you guys, what's really cool is water is actually made up of molecules. It's lots and lots of little pieces. They're all like holding onto each other, like holding hands really tightly. Now, when something can break, and it causes the surface tension. So that's what pepper is floating on top of. Now, when that surface tension gets broken, it can spread apart. And that's what the soap is doing. What's actually really cool is that's part of like when we wash our hands, that's actually another very important factor why we want to use the soap and water. But in this, it's doing a little something different. It's breaking that surface tension and all of the pepper flakes scatter. So it's a really awesome experiment. You can try it with different things. If you don't have pepper, you can easily do it with anything that's going to float on water. Like any spices, but you know what? I invite you to try other things as well, and just try it out. It's a really cool thing. It's the nice thing about science experiments. You can make it your own and try different things. So I want to make sure that we have an opportunity to answer questions if anybody has them. So if you have a question, I just need you can use the nifty Zoom thing that has the raise hand, or if you're just want to put your hand up in the air, that works as well, and I will call on you as I can. And if we don't have any questions, that's okay too. You guys were awesome. I'll give it just a couple more. Oh, is that a question?
No.
Is that not a question?
I'm sorry. He's just.
No worries. I'm just like making sure. No, cool. No worries at all. Oh, Sophie, let's see. Where are you? Sophie, I see you raised hands. What's up? What's your question?
How do you do that?
How do I do what? All the science experiments?
Or how do you know? How do you know?
How do I know all of it? Well, what's really cool is I am not the only science teller in the country. There's a whole bunch of us, and we all learn all this really cool story, and we also all learn the science experiments. So we all practice. And who has homework? Raise your hand. Yeah. You know what? So do we. We learn and we practice, and then we get to share. And it's because we all have a love for science and storytelling. So it's a lot of practicing and a lot of learning and a lot of getting to play around with experiments as well. It's a blast. So awesome question, Sophie. I want to see, make sure if we have any other questions.
No, you're not going to do it. We just had ours. We had our question.
Awesome. Last call. Alrighty, guys. Well, once again, thank you so much. Karen, thank you so much for having us. It was an absolute pleasure. I'm happy to be your first virtual program. I hope everybody enjoy that beautiful day you have in Texas.
Thank you, Stephanie. Let's give Stephanie a big hand. Woo! Appreciate it very much.
Everybody have a wonderful day. Stay safe and keep experimenting, you guys. Thank you so much.
Yes.
And keep reading. I know there's lots of cool books hiding. Especially that pickup. I love that. Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Bye, everyone.